Hi, this is Carol Riggenbach. I have been a nursing home administrator and an assisted living director, and now I own my own home health care agency for 25 years. So I wanted to talk to you today about when you are in the nursing home and you're facing that whole what should you do now that mom has aged to the point, dad's aged to the point where you need to make some decisions. Do you need a nursing home? Do you need an assisted living? Do you need home health? There's some things to consider when you're looking at all the options. And you may have had an ER stay where mom ended up in the nursing home, the rehab center, or she may have gone home with some home health, with some physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. She may have gotten all that care, but now she's trying to decide what to do, and you're trying to decide with her what to do. These are not easy decisions. And, I was just visiting with a 96-year-old gentleman yesterday, and his daughters came in from out of state, and it was amazing. He had a very, very supportive family, and he was just deciding what should he do. And my advice to him was, at the very least, what you ought to have is some home health. Now, if you get some home health in there, and I strongly suggest that you get some home health at least an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening. Now, in the home health world, all that's going to happen with Medicare paying for it is if your physician orders the home health and says that, you need some help, maybe you've got a nursing issue, maybe you've had some medication changes, maybe you're on Coumadin, or maybe you've got a heart situation, some congestive heart failure, COPD, you've got some stuff that's just really not settled. This is a perfect time to get home health in and ask your physician, I really would like mom, dad, or if you're asking for yourself, I really like some home health in my house. And so then at least you got a nurse looking at you and helping you out. Then you could, but just know, once you get that home health nurse in there, you get those home health, maybe a physical therapist, maybe an occupational therapist or speech therapist, which speech therapy, I always have to put a plug, speech therapy is not just for speaking. It is for cognition. And as much as we all want to keep as sharp as we can, I highly, highly recommend getting a speech therapist in there, because the neurological stuff that they can do, the therapy they can do with your mind and your thinking is invaluable. So there's my little plug. My daughter's a speech therapist, so my heart is sensitive to that, and always has been. So what you're going to really want to do is you're going to want to know all the players that you could probably put in, and you can get nursing, you can get the PT, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech, but just know you're not going to be able to get that for very long. Medicare is going to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and let these therapists come in for a little bit, but we're not going to let them stay for very long. Or we're going to let the nurse come in. We're not going to let her stay very long either. But at least it's a little something, and you can have that. Now, like with this gentleman, he's 96 years old, and I'm thinking, he could probably really use a little bit of a tune-up from some therapies, but that won't really last for very long. But what I suggested to him, that he hire a home health care agency, a private one, and I strongly suggest a medical home care agency, not a non-medical. And non-medical is a Class B license in my state anyway. But what you're going to ask that home health care agency is if they're medical. Now, as an example, Visiting Angels, they are non-medical. They are not supposed to do anything with medical stuff. They can only do simple housekeeping stuff and simple ADL things, but they don't have nurses to really monitor some things that you might have going on. And honestly, they may pair really well with a home health agency that does have medical and that does have nursing. So it's a possibility, but just know that some of these agencies, they're coming into homes and they're saying that they help, but they're not medical. They really don't have the eye or the training or the license, for that matter, to be able to give you the care that you may need on a medical side, okay? Now, like with this gentleman with 96 years old, I suggested what he really have is an hour in the morning, and I do this with a lot of my clients, and I actually go out and help people myself and show up and help somebody get going for the day. You're doing doing the vitals for them, or maybe they did them themselves and you're just kind of checking them out, and you have a look at them. You know, as caregivers, that we're professionals and we've got those nurses' eyes, so to speak. We're trained. We have a sense and know when somebody's different, something's not quite right. So that's always very, very good to have that on mama or daddy. And for you yourself, you know, when you have somebody that can come in and take a look at you and notice maybe something's not quite right with you this morning, you may be so lost in yourself that you just don't understand it. You don't see it, and you're just, you know, what I see with seniors is that they push through. I have one lady I take care of. She says, I've got a good pusher. And she's right. She has an excellent pusher. She's so good at pushing through things, and she's done that her whole life, and now she's in her 90s. Yeah, she pushes through. But it's important to have that that other set of eyes that looks at us by the time we're in our 90s, so that we can really have an objective point of view. Then what I tell families, and I tell seniors, you know what? This is a gift to your family. These girls that had come from out of state with this 96-year-old father, and they were such a nice family. They were marvelous. I told him, said, you know, really, what needs to happen is you need to do this for their sake, for these girls' sake, because they're out of state. They don't want to move you out of your community. He goes to coffee at McDonald's. He's doing all this stuff. He's still with the Legion, and he's still in his Rotary group, and he's still doing all this stuff within his community, and that's so important because it's keeping him sharp. It's keeping him on top of his game, and he needs to do that. But these daughters are worrying about him, that here's their dad in clear across the country, and they want to take care of him, but they understand it's not wise to move him out of his place. So I'm telling Dad, be fair to these girls. You need to hire somebody that can come in the morning, take a peek at you, get you going for the day, the meds, look at you. Then at night, do the same thing. You've made it through the day and you're doing good, and kind of just usually there's meds at night that have to be done. What'd you have to eat today? Just somebody that's from the outside checking in on someone. Oh, the daughters, the family will just breathe a sigh of relief that now they know that at least there's somebody keeping an eye on Dad. And Dad, you know, really honestly, your children love you. They really love you, and they need you to do this for their sake. All right? So that's a little helpful hint, something that I would do, that if you're really looking at, you're on the borderline of you don't know where you're at in your aging process, and here you are in your 90s and you're thinking, wow, all my friends, a lot of them have died, and some are in the nursing home, and should I do assisted living? What should I do? Well, you know what I'd say? The first step is get a little bit of home health. Get some home health in your home and get a support system, for not only for your sake, and I strongly suggest medical, but not only for your sake, but for your children's sake as well. And then you're just going to thrive. With that little bit of help, you're going to be able to stay stronger. You're going to be able to do better and better at home for longer than if you're just trying to push through all this on your own and being stubborn and maybe have a little bit of pride that keeps you from doing really well. So I hope that's helpful today. All right. Thank you, and God bless.